Welcome, visionaries and revolutionaries, to the Aligned Empire podcast, your gateway to building a movement of change, wealth, and impact. I'm your host, Drea Brown. This podcast is for the visionary woman who is ready to master the energetic frequencies of money, business, and herself, and is ready to expand into a frequency, life, and empire that mirrors her highest purpose. Together, we are rising up and reshaping the world as we know it, defying limitations and boldly embodying our highest selves. You're not just listening to another podcast. You're embarking on an epic journey.
Hello, and welcome back. Today, we're going to be talking about transforming your inner world for outer success. We're going to be talking about the steps and the things that you need to do in order to transform your inner world for outer success, and who you really need to become in order to be truly successful on the outside. And the biggest thing we're going to be talking about really is redefining what success really is. Because the thing about success within our culture, within our own selves that we don't even realize, is that we define success based on our society and other people's terms. And it's really subtle too. You might be even thinking, well, I don't do that. I have my own views of success, but you'd be really, really surprised at where your views of success are coming from. And that most of the time, it's not actually coming from yourself. It's coming from somewhere else that's actually not going to make you happy. It's either coming from trauma, it's coming from society, it's coming from this hustle culture that we've been indoctrinated into. There's so many different areas. So we're really going to talk about that, and we're going to define success on your own terms and what it truly means to you and how you can actually achieve it.
Hello, amazing visionary women. I just wanted to stop in really quick and say, if you're enjoying listening to this podcast or this episode, if you could just do a quick pause and leave a review wherever you're listening to this right now, and let us know exactly what you like listening to this episode about. What type of insights were so incredible to you? My team and I work so hard delivering as much value and as much love and put as much energy as we possibly can into these episodes that it truly means the absolute world to us. Take a screenshot of this episode, share it to your Instagram story, share it to your Facebook. I love tagging you guys as well in my stories. 99% of the time, I will also tag you as well, just to let my audience know, hey, there's other people listening to this podcast. So it really does mean the world. And I absolutely love going with depth rather than width. I'd much rather you listen to 10 podcasts and go really, really in depth with the audience and the community rather than 100 different podcasts. It really means everything when you can go more depth, a smaller amount of things rather than going width-wise. And so I would love to extend that invitation to you guys and say, hey, I would love for us to be the community that you wanted to go more in depth with. And with that, make sure you guys go check out those show notes, go download our resources. We have amazing, incredible resources that I know 100% you're going to absolutely love, that most people are paying $2,000 for. I'm not even kidding. So make sure you guys check out those show notes and download those free resources, get on that newsletter, and engage with this community, because we're building something really special here. And I just want to say, even if you don't want to do any of that, I appreciate you so much listening to this and being entangled in this energy and in this journey with me. So thank you so much. And let's get back to the episode.
So in order for us to actually have true outer success, we really do need to have true inner success. You truly cannot have true success until your inner success has been achieved. And so most of the time we find success and really you have to like be really self-reflective when I say this. A lot of the times we view our success in the way others view us as being successful, or of course, money, materialism, all of these other things that we think that if we achieve these goals, then we'll have this, then we'll be happy, then we'll have this hole that's in our heart that will be filled. Then we'll be able to just ease back in our business. Or that's when we really can truly start investing in ourselves, or that's when we can enjoy our business. The thing is, it starts right now and it starts inside. And this is a quote I'm probably going to repeat a billion and bajillion times within these episodes, but it's from Eckhart Tolle. And he talks about the way that manifestation works and the way all of this works is that you have to feel so happy in this moment, feel so grateful, feel so fulfilled in this moment that when the thing that you're actually trying to bring into your life actually does happen, it literally doesn't matter. It doesn't do anything to your inner world because you already feel that way. How powerful is that? I always need that reminder because you really do start getting so focused on this outside result that you're trying to bring inside that we forget that it really does start within. We really do forget that it starts with feeling truly grateful. It starts with feeling truly successful on the inside. So how can you start feeling successful on the inside right now? Knowing that everything on the outside is fully an illusion, because it really, truly, everything is an illusion. Everything. How can you start feeling the success inside in this moment? True, unlimited, insane success. Because ultimately, if you have a dream of making $100 million or $1 billion, what are you ultimately trying to achieve? What feelings do you think that $1 billion or that $100 million is going to bring into your life? And let's start there. Do you think it will make you feel more respected? Do you think it's going to make you happier? Do you think it's going to bring you more freedom? Do you think it's going to bring you more wealth? And how can you feel everything that I just said in this moment on the inside? How can you already in this moment feel respected? How can you start respecting yourself without a doubt? How can you start feeling wealthy on the inside? What does wealth even feel like? How can you activate and tap into wealthy energies in this moment? What does fulfillment really feel like? And how can you activate that? How can you bring this into your inner experience in this moment that you are listening to this, without having to wait for something on the outside to happen to bring you this feeling? Because I promise you, it ain't gonna happen. If you feel broke right now, you're gonna feel broke when you make $100 million. You just will. There's something in you that is going to continue to feel broke. And billionaires have talked about this. People with massive amounts of money have talked about this, that they feel like their wealth is gonna leave them. Why do you think that rich people hoard their money sometimes? It's because they're scared of going broke. And so how can you feel this wealth? How can you prepare yourself for this insane outer success that you will experience? Allow yourself to believe that, claim that. But how can you allow yourself to get ready for this incredible outer success that you're going to experience by allowing yourself to feel this inner experience, this inner success first, and defining what that truly means to you, and really defining when you do reach that pinnacle of success, what does it feel like? What feelings do you think it's going to bring you? And how can you bring those feelings into your body, into your experience right now? Maybe it's gratitude. How can you look at the things that you're grateful for right now? How can you expand your edge of being grateful right now? How can you expand those feelings of wealth, of abundance, of joy, of fulfillment, of success, of respect, of being a goddess, queen, empire leader? How can you embody those energies right now? And journal on this. Journal on the feelings that you think that this massive amount of money is going to bring into your life, or this massive success is going to bring in your life, and start to ask yourself, how can I bring these feelings into my body right now? And how can I continue to embody them every single day? Because the amazing thing is, when you start to embody these levels of success, that's when that success truly starts to come into your reality. Everyone starts to feel it. Your audience starts to feel it. Strangers start to feel it. Your employees start to feel it. You start to feel it. And the coolest thing is, you start making different types of decisions, maybe a little riskier decisions in a good way, but riskier decisions, or maybe more bold decisions, I should say. How can you start to embody these energies? I'm going to keep asking that. And maybe it's just a question that you ask the universe, or you ask your higher power. How can I bring these energies into my life? How can I bring energies of true success, what that means to me, into my life right now without needing to see it on the outside? Because if you don't do that, the thing is, the way you're making your decisions right now is completely subconscious. 95% of your decisions are completely subconscious. You're basing your success on something subconsciously that you believe. So if you believe subconsciously that people don't actually respect you, or maybe you're not confident, the more that you continue to gain outer success, it's only going to embolden what you already feel about yourself inside. And you might have already heard that quote before. But more money and more success is only going to pronounce what you already feel inside. And that's why when people get really rich, or when they have it all, they feel like they should be so happy because they finally reached their pinnacle of success and they have it all. But really, in reality, they don't have success defined in what they truly feel is successful. It's what other people have told them what success is, and what they decided to believe about it. And when you're living by other people's paradigms of what success means, you'll never experience true success. You'll never experience true happiness or true fulfillment or any of the juicy goodness that comes from having inner success. One of the things that I want to talk about is self-sabotaging behaviors that we experience and not feeling safe for that next level of success. So let's just say that you do start embodying this next level of success and it feels really, really good. But then all of a sudden, let's just say that you want to start a podcast, but you feel some resistance happening. Can't explain why. You tell yourself, well, maybe that day I just don't feel like recording a podcast. So I'm going to listen to my intuition and not record a podcast. And guess what? You try the next day. The same thing pops up. And the next day, but you visualize and you do all this stuff that you're supposed to do. You're like, what the hell? I cannot get myself to record a podcast. It just won't happen. I feel this massive resistance. Maybe it's my intuition. The thing is, when we start to bring ourselves up to another level of success, we start self-sabotaging because our bodies do not feel safe for this next level of success. And ultimately, nothing's wrong with you. It's your body trying to make you feel safe, trying to protect you from doing something different, from doing something bolder. Because ultimately, like, this is a totally different episode and I don't want to go too far into it, but it's in our genetics to survive. It's completely inside of our genetics to survive, to not go too far outside of the group, not to be too individualistic, because that's how we survive. Because if we were too individualistic, if we went too far outside the norm of the group, we would be killed. So we're trying to break away from that. And so what happens is our bodies, when we start to do these individualistic things, or we start to do more bolder things to bring ourselves into more action or bring ourselves into a different level of success, our body starts protecting it. Our body's like, oh, hell no, this doesn't feel normal. There's something going on, like danger, danger, danger. Like if she does this, then, maybe she'll be super successful and all her friends are going to ditch her and her family and everyone's going to think differently of her. She'll think differently. Like, oh my gosh, I need to protect her. Let's bring her back down. Give her this feeling of fear and flood her body with these emotions that just make her back down. So that's self-sabotaging behavior, and it's going to show up in so many different ways that we really have to be aware of the different ways that self-sabotaging mechanisms happen for you. And so the first thing is obviously being self-reflective. Think about the last time that you experienced success. What happened? What type of feelings entered your body? Did you feel constriction when you observed success for yourself? Did you start to feel bitter? Did you start to feel some type of resistance? Did you start to feel feared? What type of feelings? I'm not saying all success. I'm saying when you started to feel success and then you stopped it, you went a different way, or you sabotaged it in some way. So when you sabotage something, what do you do in your body and what type of feelings start to happen? For example, for me, when I start to sabotage my own success, first, my clients, I start to share too much of myself. I stop having boundaries. And then what happens is my clients continue to cross my boundaries. I spend way too much energy and then I get bitter and then I get resentful. And then that creates a whole energy dynamic of something that I don't like. And so ultimately I'm like, okay, this is my last client for this type of niche, or this is my last client doing this. So ultimately it's asking yourself, what type of self-sabotaging behaviors are you experiencing when you hit a pinnacle of success and it feels scary and you want to go a different direction? So what do you experience? And there's so many ways, you guys, that this happens, like so many ways that we don't even know. Again, 95% of it is subconscious. We don't even know what's happening, but it's incredible how beautiful and strong and dangerous our minds can be. It justifies every damn thing. And it will completely tell you why this isn't working. It will completely tell you this isn't the right way. It will completely tell you, let's do this instead. And it will just flood your brain with all these different ideas. And so sometimes it's your intuition, but sometimes, a lot of the times, it's your mind. And so how can we tell the difference between us trying to just feel safe versus our intuition? How can we tell? Basically, it's fear versus intuition. So how can we tell the difference? The first way that you can really tell is going to be to go inside of your body, because your intuition is never going to come from your thoughts. Never, ever, ever, ever going to come through from your thoughts, ever. So the first thing is, again, going into your body. What does your body feel when it's anxious and stressed and agitated, or when you're self-sabotaging, or when you reach this pinnacle of success? What does it feel like when all of this stuff is happening? It feels like the shitstorm of emotions, right? And how can we create safety in our body? How can we make our bodies feel safe and peaceful? Because that's the only time that your intuition is going to come in. You cannot experience your intuition when your body is so agitated and it's such in a fight or flight response. Literally, it's just a survival mechanism. Like, you're literally just reacting from survival genetic. How can you observe yourself and then come back to a safe spot? You really do have to do this consistently, because every single point of success, every single stage of success is going to require a different level of being self-reflective of the ways that we self-sabotage, because every level you're going to self-sabotage in a different way. It's pretty incredible all the ways our mind tries to keep us, thank you mind, but tries to keep us safe. So it's really up to us to realize where this is happening. So something that you can easily do is breathing. It's one of the easiest ways that you can really bring your body back to safety. It works incredible. It doesn't even take very long. It's so crazy. You literally only have to do it for like a couple minutes and you'll be back to safety. And there's so much science behind it that I don't have pulled up, but it is so incredible, the science behind breathing and bring yourself back into safety, and like all of these incredible hormones and chemicals that it helps, and amygdalas and all this good stuff. But really it's breathing. And one of my favorite techniques that I learned from one of my clients actually is square breathing. And the way square breathing works is you're going to want to hold your right nostril with your finger, just use one hand. So hold your right nostril and just breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then hold your breath for 1, 2, 3, 4, and then release it and hold your left nostril as you do this, and then release 1, 2, 3, 4, and then allow your breath to stay out 1, 2, 3, 4, and then do it again. Hold your right nostril 1, 2, 3, 4, and then hold 1, 2, 3, 4, and then release while holding your left nostril 1, 2, 3, 4, and keep doing that for a couple minutes, and you will start to feel your body just feel incredible relaxation. It's like all these energies in your body that are just agitated and going at it are just gonna just feel so relaxed and feel so amazing. Allowing yourself to do this consistently throughout the day, especially if you're doing a ton of new work, especially when you're expanding yourself into new heights that you've never done before. For example, I'm, like me doing podcasting, like these are new heights. I'm getting back onto social media. Like this is scary for me. I definitely have some fear, and I'm definitely going through, I definitely notice my mind pop up like, are you sure you're doing the right thing? But it's like, I have to like let go and know that my mind is just trying to protect me, and going back 1, 2, 3, 4, and just breathing. That's really helpful. Something else, visualization. Visualize yourself like getting like, what does it feel like to be your best self, or to be your highest self, or whatever visualization that you love. There's so many visualizations out there. Manifesting is really, really powerful for this. What type of visualizations would help you get through this? And you can even like Google visualizations for overcoming fear. Maybe it's tapping. You can tap yourself out of fear. So EFT, the emotional freedom technique. There's incredible videos on YouTube for emotional freedom technique to tap out of fear. And tapping is so insane, so amazing, or meditation. But the biggest thing is, honestly, it's going to be being self-reflective and knowing that you do have to go back into your body, and you do need to experience these feelings, and they're not there. It's going to be okay, but ultimately it's not going to be your intuition that's doing this. It is your fear. And so it's really like being clear. What does my intuition feel like? Because it's that soft, gentle, just like knowing. It's a knowing. It's totally a knowing. It's never going to be like a voice in your head that's like, you need to do this, like you need to do a podcast. No, it's going to be like, this soft, gentle knowing. And it's just like you follow it, and it just feels soft, and you don't have to force it. You don't have to push it. You don't have to justify it. You don't have to convince yourself of doing it. You just know it. And that's kind of like right now, that's how I feel about this podcast. It's like, I just know it. It's so interesting because like so much of my life I've pushed. And this has taken me months to get to this point of just allowing myself to surrender and like feeling safe inside my body, and just allowing myself to feel my intuition and just allowing it to go. It's just so soft. And, getting to that point, but you really have to make your body feel safe first in order to get to the point of being able to feel your intuition. And before I move on, something I wanted to talk about, self-sabotaging, something like a book that's really incredible is called The Mountain Is You. And I think her name is Brianna West, the author, but it's a black cover. It has a mountain on it, but there's so many insane ways that we self-sabotage. So if you can get your hands on that book, go download it. It's insane. Like the reviews are ridiculous. That's why I downloaded it. I love my reviews. But it's incredible. It just lists reason after reason after reason after reason after reason, and it lists all the different ways that we do it. And it's like, oh my God, I had no idea I was doing that. Unless you've done a shit ton of work, like massive amounts of work. And I definitely identify as someone who's done massive amounts of work. Like I've been doing this self-development thing for like 20 years. So if you're someone who identifies that, like I still think you're going to get massive benefits because it's like, it's pretty crazy all the subconscious ways that our mind is trying to protect us. And I think that's where we're evolving into this different space of letting go of these self-sabotaging behaviors and then letting us shine into all of who we really are, into all of our success, all of our unlimited power. So go get that book. So I'm just going to list off some other tools to help you really transform your inner world for outer success. As you probably already know, affirmations are amazing. If you have an affirmation that you don't believe to be true and you continue saying it to yourself, stop doing that, because unless you can truly believe that you can get to a point of where you believe it, but what it's doing, your body is saying you're lying. You don't believe that. You really don't believe that. It creates more resistance, if anything. So it does more harm than good. So if you can find an affirmation that you don't actually agree with, ask yourself why. Why don't you believe that you are an empire leader? Why do you not believe that you are infinite? Why do you not believe that, that you are love or that you are wealth? Why do you not believe this? Like when you say these affirmations, what do you feel in your body? Do you feel constriction or do you feel expansion? That's kind of a good way to really measure whether you do believe an affirmation is in your body. Are you feeling constriction when you say it or are you feeling expansion? If you're feeling expansion, you're going the right way, continue saying it. If you're feeling constriction, curiously observe that constriction and ask yourself, why are you feeling constricted? Why are you feeling constricted from saying this affirmation? And what can you do to change that? How can you allow yourself to feel these constricted feelings? And then how can you embrace this perspective? Or maybe it just doesn't resonate with you, which is totally cool too. But why are you feeling constriction? Why don't you believe it? Another way is getting out in nature. Oh my gosh, you guys, nature is so healing. I don't obviously need to go into this too much, but getting out in nature, it's like sometimes I won't get out in nature for a couple weeks and then I get out and it's like, oh my gosh, I have been in my head. Especially if you've been in your head a lot, like get out in nature and just like look at the trees, go hug a tree. Literally, you guys, I hug trees all the time. It's amazing. Like feel the energy and allow the tree to embrace your being and allow your being to embrace the tree and go walk barefoot. Go look at stuff without a mind, without thoughts, without labels. Go look at what a flower looks like. Go look at the shadows that's happening in the forest. Go look at all of these little subtleties and the way the light reflect inside the water and touch the rocks and just look at how beautiful the world is, how beautiful nature is. And it is going to, oh my gosh, it's going to like totally transform the way when you come back into your business, when you come back into quote unquote the real world, but it's going to totally transform everything. And it's really going to make you take 10 steps back from your emotions and 10 steps back from your problems that mostly like they're illusions, like everything's an illusion. So it's going to make you really realize the reality of that we're living in. And so when you're transforming, so I'm going to transition just slightly. So when we're transforming our inner world for outer success, the thing is, while we're doing this, we're also taking action at the same time. You don't always have to do that. You can spend months transforming your inner world, which I've done so many times. I just got done doing that. So you can take months transforming your inner world because it's going to be a constant journey. You're always going to continuously transform your inner world because again, once you hit a new level of success, you're going to have to continue to transform this inner world for this level of success. And then the next level of success. And then the next level of success. It never ends because you're always hitting different levels and new levels. So you continuously have to transform this inner world. But so how can you balance this inner work with outer action? How can you make outer goals that are also related to your inner goals? How can you set outer goals that do align with your inner views of success? And ultimately, it's going to make sure that you are aligned inside. And before you set any external goals, it's going to be making sure that you have internal success. Again, whatever that means to you, write it down, make a journal list of it, write down all the different ways that success means to you. Again, like what do you want to feel when you experience $1 million in your business? What feelings are you trying to bring in? Why do you ultimately want to feel it? And get to a point where even if you do bring in that money, it doesn't really matter because you already feel it. You already have that feeling without a doubt. Like how can you feel that so much, so deeply already that it really doesn't matter? And so when you become aligned with what success feels like on the inside first, what happens is you start feeling inspired to take action. And you might have heard this already, but taking inspired action, that's where your intuition lies. That's where your joy lies, and following your joy. So you feel joy inside, and then what on the outside world matches that joy in this moment? What in this moment matches that joy and inspiration that you're feeling on the inside? What physical thing is matching that. For me, again, it was a podcast. That's what it felt like. Like I was feeling all this amazing energy and this impact and this empire lead movement, all this good stuff. It was just like a feeling. It was like a podcast, you know, it wasn't even a thought. It was just like, my body just like went to it and did its work. And it was like me observing my body doing this. And so sometimes I'm like, oh my gosh, I barely even thought about this. You know, am I going the right way? But it feels right, you know? So how can you get inspired on the inside first and then follow whatever that inspiration leads? Because I promise you, if you're strategizing from a place of not doing the inner work first, you're like fucked, like that, like royally, like you are going to be fucked. Once you get to the external goal that you're really trying to achieve, you're going to be miserable as hell. So how can you first align yourself with an amazing foundation of all the success that you want to feel inside first, and then take inspired action from there instead of working from the outside in? Because as a society, we're so messed up when it comes to succeeding, when it comes to success, because we think we have to be successful on the outside first in order to get it on the inside. And really it's the other way around. So how can we feel success on the inside and then feel success on the outside? How can we strategize on the inside first and then strategize on the outside? How can we make this all connected? And really it's going to be consistently making your body feel safe, consistently doing those breathing exercises daily, or visualizing whatever it is that continues to bring you back into safety, and then feeling the feelings of success, feeling those feelings without a doubt, like making sure you feel that foundation first and then taking action. Don't ever take action without feeling those feelings first. It will never be aligned. It will not be aligned unless it's like winning the freaking lottery times 1,000. Like you are just not going to hit that unless you feel it first inside. And that's when you're going to make a massive fucking shit ton of money, you guys, or make a massive impact, is when you feel that stuff in the inside first, and then it just spreads on the outside. We live in a vibrational universe. So you have to feel that wealth. You have to feel that power. You have to feel that influence, that impact, that incredible, insane life first on the inside in order for you to experience it on the outside. It will never be different. It doesn't matter who you are, what you believe. The universe works in this way. That's the laws of the universe, and they will never work differently for any other human being ever in the world. So you have to make sure that you're working the universe the right way. So you're experiencing it, truly experiencing it, like really, truly, not just like kind of doing it and then taking action, like digging deep inside and like really embracing those feelings and going deep as you possibly can, feeling that first and then doing that. Or else you're going to get in this constant state of trying to achieve, and you hit this goal, and either you're going to be like super disappointed because it's not what you thought, and then you're going to be depressed forever, which happens a lot, happened to me, or you're going to hit this goal and you're like, well, shit, I feel like I need more. So what's next? And so you're going to set a bigger goal, and then a bigger goal, and then a bigger goal, thinking that's going to make you feel wealthy, and then thinking this amount of money is going to make you feel wealthy. But then you get to the top and you're like, holy shit, nothing is making me feel wealthy. And then it's so depressing. Just make sure you're feeling it first, because when you get to that point of already being wealthy, it's harder to do this work. It's way harder to do this work because you do have more responsibility. There's so much that's going on. So if you're already aligned with the wealth that you have made, that's pretty big. That's a lot harder than solving something when you're just starting out, or when you're still trying to find your alignment. Make sure you find your alignment first, and then you find your wealth. And so there we have it. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. Let me know on Instagram, like do a screenshot of this episode, and what does it mean for you to have success? Was there any ahas in this show, in this episode, that you really came upon that you're like, holy shit, you know, I've self-sabotaged there? Can we get vulnerable with each other within this community and really share? Like, if it's okay with you, I'd love to share it in my stories. I love sharing in my stories about you guys. Like, I want to connect you guys as well. Like, I don't want to only be the person that's like on top, the person that's like running this community. I want everyone involved, and I want everyone to feel so important, and we can all connect each other, and we can all be together, and it's just such a supportive, beautiful community. So in terms of that, I love sharing your guys' stuff on my page and my stories, all that good stuff. And if you can post a review in Apple Podcasts or wherever you are, if you can, like even if you're listening on Spotify and then you have to go to Apple Podcasts, like that would mean the world to me. And it just makes such a difference in our podcast. I could go on about it, but if you want to go deeper in our community, I'll leave some freebies in the show notes so you can download those, and you'll be added into the newsletter, which I share all of my stuff there, and you'll just learn about what's going on within our community. I try to share it on Instagram as well. So if you want to go join our Instagram, that'd be so cool. I'll leave my handles up there, and I look forward to speaking to you in the next episode. So thank you so much, and I will talk to you guys soon.
And with that, we come to the close of yet another epic journey of the Aligned Empire podcast. Thank you for tuning in to the frequency of your limitless potential. Each episode is a code to unlock your unique energetic frequencies of money, business, and your aligned empire. If you feel this episode would resonate with others, please share it forward, creating a ripple effect throughout the universe. Make sure to subscribe to continue this journey of transformation with us. Join us again next week as we continue to rise together, joining a movement that is changing the world. This is Drea Brown, your guide on this journey, signing off.